Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another edition of Live SEO Support. It's a live stream where you can ask SEO questions and get them answered live. That's why it's called Live SEO Support.
We'll answer some other stuff if you guys are keen. Get in here with those weird questions. Sometimes you only send them to us in email, private DMs, all that kind of stuff. But we'll answer them right here live.
How you doing today,
Talking
Nick?
about that. It's early and I'm waking up. I feel pretty good though. This early regimen for me has been working out really well.
I've been waking up kind of late lately. I've been waking up like 9 or 9:30, which is a lot later than I like to wake up.
How you been feeling about that?
I don't like it. Every day when I wake
Mm.
up and it's 9:30, I'm like, I did it again.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny after you get in the routine of waking up real early, then it's like, yeah, 9 o'clock will agitate you.
I prefer
It's
just to
almost
wake
like
up
how
at
we
like
used to sleep in at
6. I
noon.
like waking up like 6 is a good happy time to wake up.
I like it. I didn't used to, but I like it when it's just dark, like when it's like pitch black and you wake up and then it's like even just pouring your coffee and stuff, I feel like sounds and feels different. It's like there's not a creature was stirring, just you. Nobody's bothering you.
True. All
Yeah.
right, guys. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and get started. Hopefully, we don't have any technical difficulties this time, but honestly, the internet in the building I'm staying in seems kind of sketchy, so wouldn't surprise me. I've noticed it looks like the YouTube stream and the Facebook stream have both been kind of buffering every now and then. So, yeah, it's not you, it's me, right?
Mm, mm,
And
mm.
yeah, go ahead and drop your questions in the chat if you got anything. And yeah, thanks to everyone who showed up for our Black Friday sale that just finished up. We just finished up basically a 2-week sale of 25% off everything. Huge mega sale of the year. So that
Mega
was great.
sale.
Thanks for everyone coming out and grabbing those discount links. Next up, we're giving away $5,000 in backlinks for the holidays. So yeah, I guess I'll go ahead and drop that in the chat real quick, just in case anyone wants it or hasn't seen it already. Here you go. So yeah, we're giving away $5,000 worth of backlinks. We give away $200 in backlinks actually every single month in our Facebook group.
Yeah.
But for the holidays every year, we give away a lot more. So yeah, it's going to be split up between 11 different winners, and you can go ahead and you can click the link to see how to enter. It's real easy. Basically, you just got to join our group, like and comment on the post, and then subscribe to our email list and create an account so that whenever, if you win, we can just credit your Sir Links-a-Lot account and you can just go buy whatever you want. But yeah, so
Still
that's the big thing we got
debating.
coming up right now. What's up?
Nothing. I was going to say, still debating maybe seeing who might want a Sir Links-a-Lot jersey. There's just, I kind of want to see that swag on somebody. So maybe top three people get a custom Sir Links-a-Lot jersey or something along those
I want
lines.
to make
10 or
a
better.
Sir Links-a-Lot jersey with my name on it and then have other people wear that.
That's
So they're
pretty,
wearing a jersey.
that's a pretty good idea, actually. Yeah, it's like they're
They can
wearing,
choose if they want like
yeah,
Nick
yeah,
or Chris.
Nick or Chris. Yeah, I mean, that's basically all they got.
Oh man, that would be
That's
so
not a bad
cool.
idea. Could be fun.
All right, guys, you know how it goes though. Yeah, if you're watching live, go ahead and just drop any questions you have in the chat and we will get to them. Nick, do you remember if anyone commented on your post or not? If not, we'll go
I
ahead
can
and we'll
pull it
start
up
with
real quick.
start with an audit.
I figured we probably would, right?
Yeah. And yeah, guys, we do free website audits if you email us at info@sirlinksalot.co. There is a wait list because it's a free audit. We do not show your website or tell your niche or anything while we're auditing it. We just put up a little screenshot, which you'll see me do in just a second with the one we're doing. But yeah, so you can get free audits if you want. You just gotta wait a little bit.
Looks like there's only one question from Derek.
Okay. And oh, did I think I did not give you the,
No.
oops. Sorry guys, just 1 second and get this audit started. First one always takes a little bit longer to set up. And let's see what he says about it. All right. He says, our site was getting good visibility and traffic until March 2023. Then suddenly it dropped after March, and from then it was declining. I started MLB, that's our managed link building service, for the last 2 months, but I am still not near the organic traffic and keyword SERPs like before. I don't understand where I should focus to get back in the ranks again. Okay, yeah, we can definitely try to take a look and help you out with that. Just know that we do recommend basically sustaining link building campaigns, but basically links might not be your issue, right? But we'll get into that and we'll see what's up. And even if links were the issue, these kind of things can actually take a good amount of time to reverse. And actually, it looks like you have reversed. Let's show the graph for you guys. So it looks like like you said, in March 2023, he took a little bit of a hit. That was a core update. So knocked him down from about, what was that? About 4.5K traffic down to, am I using like overview? Maybe. I feel like my overview is not working like normal. Here it goes.
No, yeah, it's acting up a little bit. So yeah, I noticed that too.
4K traffic to so basically a 50% reduction in traffic, which is definitely not good. But then he went from 2K, now he's back up to 3.7K. So not quite back all the way, but he's actually making really good
progress.
Good progress. And so also it looks like he had a nice little boost just in the past week or two, which I had just made a post in our Facebook group recently saying basically there's people saying that they've been seeing some huge rebounds from sites that were hit recently. But this wasn't actually a recent hit. And actually he did
further back than
and he actually did better after the August 23 core update as well. So like a core update way early in March hit him, and then he started rebounding in August, which means they must have done something right. So Google's kind of like moving him up the ranks again. The next core update didn't do anything, and then just very recently just has a nice little boost again. And I think we've actually audited this site before, but it was quite a long time ago, so we can go and take a look again. I guess we can just do backlinks real quick, even though we're doing that in MLB, so we should have that covered. What's he got? DR37, 288 referring domains. Actually looks like his backlinks might actually be pretty good quality then.
Yeah. Little harder to audit as it is a foreign language website. We're looking at Swedish here, I believe.
Actually, there's some nice links in here. Well, it's a no follow, but whatever.
Seeing a lot of what I assume are exact match anchors, but let's see. Yep.
Yeah, a lot of really short anchors. Let's see if those come from spam or not.
That's what, yeah, I'm checking right now.
What? Having like an Ahrefs issue. Try to apply the filter to it, and it now showing
Yeah, it's acting
anchors.
up a little bit, isn't it?
Thanks, Ahrefs. Glad we're paying you guys extra money now. Yes, I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to get that filter working properly, but
either way, if you pull down referring domains on these, they're actually, I mean, I expected them to be Web 2.0s, but they're not. So let's open some of these and see what they are. Ooh, but they are spam, that's for sure.
So it could just be, hopefully he didn't build it.
So there's definitely some spam attached to this thing. It's like those really, I don't know, they look like automated, those.
Well, hopefully he didn't pay for that. But yeah, some super low end kind of link building.
Yeah, they're basically like link farms where there's absolutely no effort put into them, so
Yeah, just huge walls of
walls of
text on like
text.
a
Yeah.
website that looks like it's from like 1985 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're
so
talking about hundreds of these.
yeah,
So,
link building, you've had a bunch of this spam. Hopefully you didn't build that. I'm not even sure if you're still with us in managed link building, but if you are, we'll have that handled. What our team is probably doing is just building a bunch of links very naturally. So like quality links, probably mainly to your homepage for now, with very natural anchor text instead of any kind of like keyword anchors. Um, let's see, I just want to check one more thing and see if he's like been hammering inner pages. Um, what am I looking for? Best by links, here we go. And yeah, all these inner pages have been hit quite a bit.
what is this?
Probably just a lot of that spam,
Bunch
to
of,
be honest.
yeah, spam to image links. Uh, yeah, got some random stuff going on here for sure. Now, we didn't go as far as to like check whether a bunch of these domains are indexed or not. My guess would be quite a lot of them are not. But yeah, definitely some spam issues on the back end of the site.
Yeah, for sure. But like we said, we'll if you're an MLB, we'll definitely be taking care of that. And for anyone just listening and you've done this thing to your own site or your own site has a bunch of spam, you just counteract spam by just building very naturally. We don't ever do disavows or anything like that. I know some people do, but we don't. Um, yeah, you can basically just think of it as like the balance, right? Right now the balance is they have way more spam than the good stuff. So we're just adding more into the good pile, right? And you kind of tip the scale back up.
Yeah,
Um,
having said that though, whenever you are on a trajectory where you're moving up in the SERPs, which your website definitely is, I wouldn't, and just to rehash what Chris was just talking about, I wouldn't go for a disavow or really
yeah,
mess
no, no,
with
no.
anything other than adding good links, again, to the homepage with natural looking anchors. And then if you were buying this spam, just stop doing it. Stop doing it right now. But yeah, it's nothing to scream about because I mean you are on the way up. So,
Yeah, so
you
he's
know,
asking like where you should focus. Like honestly, whatever you've been focusing on, I'd probably keep doing that
yeah,
because you're
yeah,
actually recovering very nicely. A lot
hmm
of people. So you got hit in March, and you're back up to almost where you were before by December. So it's like a 9 month period where you got hit and recovered. A lot of people don't recover in nearly that quick. So you should be pretty happy that your site's recovering, to be honest. And yeah, like Nick said, this is extremely hard for us to audit something like this, with your foreign language site. Um, Let me see if Google will translate it for me. Here we go. Let me just look at like a blog post or whatever. Um, but yeah, I would kind of need some more information on what you're doing. It looks like you got a bunch of like kind of eat stuff. It looks like a trustworthy site. You've got like phone numbers on here, emails on here, all like your kind of service pages, social media. Um, check out the blog real quick. I clicked on a blog post, but there's really not much in it except a couple pictures and a couple links. Let's see what's on the next blog post.
you going over the site?
Yeah,
I'd kind of looked at a few things, and again, we've got to translate this in order to look through it. But one of the things that
these
really,
blog posts I don't like.
yeah, there's quite a few things where I was like, and then like you've got a menu. Now, maybe this is a language thing, but it's like web shop product dash product as a menu. And then if you open up the third menu option, or even the first one, but it's like, look at that first link to that specific type of door.
Wait, what are you talking about? The first door thing?
It just in the menus, yeah, like how long and how it's like
Looks like it's repeating it, so I can't tell because I don't know the
it's
language, but it looks like it's
repeated.
repeating itself.
Yeah. You see what I'm talking about? Like
Yeah.
it's like what is that? Like are you trying to keyword stuff in your
It looks like
menu?
he tried to keyword stuff in his URL structure. And all these
Yeah.
blog posts,
So
they're just like these images. What happens when you click on one of these things? So it just makes it bigger. Okay. They're really thin with like just some images. I'm not really sure what the competitors look like, but like the site design and stuff, it just looks, it's a bit rough.
images and it takes you to a new page where it's just there's the image, like it's all, nobody needs that.
And I don't see any like there's basically one like heading tag at the very top, and I guess that's pretty much it. Like I haven't seen any article on his blog that like has more to it other than
Mm-mm.
like some images and like a wall of text. Oh, this one has, oh, that one had 2 H2s. Um,
Yeah,
so,
no
you know,
author for blog posts either. Just
yeah,
comes back to
but
the
it's also
home
a
page.
brand, even though it would be good to have like an author on there. So yeah, as far as um, as far as what I can see, a lot of the blog just looks like really kind of low quality. I'm not really seeing much interlinking. I'm just seeing a bunch of like images and thin blog posts and not much structure. But I don't know what kind of stuff is ranking for these type of keywords. So like if you go and you look at like whatever's ranking for these keywords that these blog posts are trying to rank for, I guess I could just copy and paste this real quick. I just want to copy and paste it and see what like his like top competitor. I just want to see what the top ranking page looks like. That's so much nicer.
Yeah, that looks a little bit more
Yeah, so
refined.
this is what the big advice I'm gonna give you because it's so hard to audit your site. Is if
Yeah.
you type in like your main keyword for any of these blog posts and just go look at your number one competitor, the number one ranking page for it, and just look at what their blog post looks like compared to yours. These are actually like well-structured articles. They got like H2s. Like it's again, I'm looking at a foreign language site, but I can just tell like how much better this is. You got some like nice contextual. That's you should aim for it to do stuff like that. If you need any like help along the way, if you've got specific questions, you can definitely ask us in the group. Got anything to add on that one, Nick?
Nope, I think we
Cool.
covered it.
All right. Let's see what we got here. Hopefully this stream. Okay.
Yeah, it looks like it's kind of freezing.
Roxy said, is there any delay issue going on in Search Console? It's not getting updated from last 29. I'm not sure. I haven't checked Search Console in the last 29 hours. But things can happen like that. You just gotta chill.
I barely ever go into Search Console.
I
Last time
actually
I
love
went
Search
in was
Console now.
do what?
I actually love Search Console.
Yeah,
I've like started
I
using it way
just haven't
more.
been. Last I went in was just to check on some stuff for Dooley,
Nice.
but no issues.
All right. Says, what do you guys think about Google's overdependency on Quora and Reddit? They are literally ranking anywhere related to main query available on Reddit and ignoring the authority of niche sites. So first of all, I'll say that whenever I search for something on Google, I literally do not search for it without putting Reddit at the end. I would say literally like 90% of the things I search for, I look for a Reddit post instead of a Google result because that's how trash SEO optimized sites are. Everyone's just trying to make money on the website and they don't give you the good information versus you get on Reddit and you get to see people talking about it and you kind of weigh their opinions on your own and make up your own mind, right? So
Yeah.
I can't blame Google for doing this because I do it. Because I realize that people in my industry, including maybe some of the content that I've put out on websites, is just straight up trash intended to convert you and make money, right? Versus this other stuff. That being said, I don't know how long this stuff is going to last for because I would say manipulating Google and or manipulating Reddit and Quora is even easier than making your own website and doing it that way, right? Like making your own website, building the authority, building all the articles, ranking everything, doing on-page SEO, off-page SEO, like all this shit, that takes time. Versus you can go and like buy like Reddit like upvotes and stuff, and like from real accounts.
Yeah.
Like it's so easy to do it that yeah, I can't imagine it lasting for too long, or else SEOs are just going to absolutely ruin those platforms. I've heard Reddit talking about saying that they were going to block like Google bots, or basically they were talking about like blocking bots, but I don't know if they'd actually do it. And I don't think it was,
Decentralized Reddit.
and I don't think it was for like SEO reasons. I think it was because they're training their machine learning on its posts. But yeah, so yeah, I've got a feeling it's not going to last very long, but maybe it will. I don't really know how they're going to judge this stuff. I don't like to think about the future that much, but I will say for now, you should, I think, be kind of incorporating that kind of stuff in your strategy, especially if they've taken over SERPs, where you used to be ranking higher, now they're ranking above you, right? You got to figure out how you're going to pop up in that discussion thread. Anything to add on that, Nick?
No, all good.
Cool. Let's go and take the one from Facebook real quick. What are the best link packages for Parasite SEO, or what links would you suggest for Parasite SEO when starting out? Sure, I can show you that real easy. You can go on our website real quick. Might have to log out.
Some of those whoppers.
All right. So I'm just going to show you on of the links that we sell. You know, I don't know if you're aware, but we are a link building agency. That's what we do. That's how we make our money. But you could literally go buy these kind of links from everywhere if you don't want to buy them from us. Ours are better, but so you should buy them from us. So anyway, that's my pitch. Yeah, so generally what people use to power up Parasite sites are kind of lower quality stuff. Some people go like the super spam route, which I don't think I would really recommend. What I would go for is more like cheaper PBNs and cheaper link insertions. I know a lot of people do this as well, and that's more the route that I prefer to go down. So if you go to our website, go to services, niche edits, it's the same thing as a link insertion. And then you go over here to PBN links, and I'll show you some options real quick. So for niche edits, let's let the site load. Everything looks weird because I'm on a weird internet connection. But anyway, that'll eventually load. So you could get these like niche edits right here, DR 10 plus for $80, but this is actually quite expensive for a link insertion, or for powering up a Parasite link insertion. So what I would actually do is go down here, and you can check out these like level ones, but even more than that, as I'll go down here and check out these low authority RD 10 to 50 bulk packs. You know, these are coming in between $27 and $36 a link if you get 10. If you get 30, they come $25 to $31 a link. How much they cost changes a little bit because there's like a guaranteed number, but you can read about that in this little drop down menu here. Or you can even go down here to level 1 bulk packs. So basically these level 1 bulk packs are a little bit stronger than these because these are RD 10 to 50 and these are RD 50 plus, and there's actually not a cap on that, so they can actually be stronger than RD like 100. But these end up being a little bit more expensive, of course. If you get 10 of them, $50 a link, but they go down to $40 a link. If you're really on a budget, you could just do these, and these are actually just completely fine, but they are low authority, so you have to kind of factor that in. And then you could go over to our PBN backlinks. I would not get the rentals. What I would do is I would probably go to our PBN niche edits. So it's basically we're doing link insertions onto rebuilt archived content on PBN websites. So it's not a new guest post, it's actually an existing post on a PBN site we have from some of the old content. And you could just do some of these like kind of cheaper ones over here, $35, $45. So yeah, cheap PBNs, cheaper and cheap link insertions, I think is the best thing to go. But yeah, what I would also do is just get the get your parasite post first, and maybe not just get one parasite post on the site, maybe get a few of them and then interlink them. That's what we were talking with Charles Float about on our podcast, which is a really cool idea. Buy multiple parasite posts and do interlinking on that same parasite site to kind of boost it. And then kind of give it a little bit, see where it lands after a week or two. And then from there, you can decide like what kind of link building you want to do and how much you want to spend, stuff like that. If it just pops on page one immediately, you might not want to do any link building, but if it's a little bit further down, you might want to start firing a couple of links off at it and see if you get any kind of movement. Anything to add on that, Nick?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, there's probably, well, there is multiple ways to go about doing this. I think for starters, make sure that you know what you're going in and who you're going up against, right? So, do some competitor research, see who else is using Parasite SEO in those SERPs, and then, crawl those pages and see what's going on the back end. Maybe for some, like when we were talking to Charles, he talks about spending, like 5 to 10 grand just on the content for, some of these campaigns. So maybe that'll call for higher end backlinking. And then I'm always a fan of diversifying your approach. So, with your backlink profile, especially if I'm spending a ton of money on a parasite post or several of them, then I'm probably going to mix in some higher authority stuff in there just so that it looks like, what natural press kind of looks like, which is you've got press coming from like these authority values and then more chatter trickling in from, different places, including like, you could even do forums, stuff like that. What I wouldn't do is go by stuff like blog comments, um, directory links, things that it doesn't make sense to have pointed at inner pages, which I see a lot of like newer people trying to do parasite SEO, and they're just essentially spamming out, but they're using the wrong kind of low authority values. So something to watch out for there. But yeah, overall, good to go.
All right, let's see what's next here. Gents, what tools do you recommend to build niche edits? Yeah, so Pitchbox is our tool of choice for link building. It's expensive, but it can end up saving you money if you're building a decent amount of links, right? You can also check out Hunter. I believe Hunter also has like a free kind of thing. We can actually use it a limited amount for completely free. And yeah, other than that, I mean, link building is literally just emailing people. So actually, you don't need any tools. Tools just speed up the process, and they can speed it up a lot. I'm not going to lie, because this is the thing about link building. Link building is, unless you're really doing these like tailor-made, super custom outreach messages to people that take a lot more time, then you're playing a numbers game, right? Even if you are doing something a little bit more tailor-made, like for this specific niche, and it's not just a very like horrible outreach message, like it's still going to be a numbers game. The only thing that's like not a numbers or kind of shifts away from that is when you get into this like very targeted, very specific kind of realm of link building, very like bespoke kind of link building, which ends up almost being not PR, but it's just something kind of different than what most people do when they're building backlinks. And the reason why is because it takes a lot longer and the amount of links you end up building from it are a lot fewer. But yeah, like I was saying, I mean, you could just do everything like literally in a Google Sheet or like Excel or whatever, and just, whatever email account. But yeah, so, you could go for the expensive software if you got the money behind you. Pitchbox is great. Otherwise, you can just do it completely manually, right?
Yep.
Anything to add on that, Nick?
Nope, covered.
Let's see here. And Facebook people will be right back over there in a minute to answer you guys. From an SEO perspective, would you rather have one guest post from a DR50 or do follow backlinks to an infographic from 3 DR50 sites, and why? From an SEO perspective, would you rather have? Do you understand this?
I'm guessing he's meaning that his infographic got syndicated and is like an image link from 3 back or 1 contextual. Like that's the only thing I can
Like
think
they're
of is
linking to
3
the
image links or 1
infographic?
contextual, right?
I mean, that's kind of a, normally when we build links directly to the pages, right?
Yeah.
Like contextual links direct to the actual pages versus like building them to like images or whatever.
But ultimately it's like, why compare and contrast? Like people always want this like real black and white, like, hey, which one should I get? Like they want this narrative. Like the fact of the matter is, you want both of them. Ultimately, it's like, what can you get? Now, if you're talking about like budget constraints, which one would you take? Um, my knee-jerk reaction is just to say the guest post contextual link is probably what I would take. However, if this infographic is on a page where I don't know, it's operating as a hub page, then maybe the 3 links would be better because it increases crawlability to that particular infographic or to your website in general.
Yeah.
Um, it's hard to like you can kind of go down the rabbit hole of imagining this and which one would be better, and then prodding with ideas. But ultimately, like get whichever one. They're both useful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, just to reiterate, if you're just like talking about like in general, I would just focus primarily, focus on linking to pages directly instead of to the infographic or whatever. And if someone uses your infographic, you could also like ask them to like credit you by linking to like your website. So that would be cool as well. Like you get them like link to your homepage, with like a branded anchor or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's see what we got next. Let's see what's going on over here on Facebook. You're welcome, Daniel. I can't tell if Hasnain, I don't know if you're still here or not, but is this your website that you've linked there? If it is, we're not going to be able to audit it live. But I guess we can answer the first part of the question. Hi, Chris. What are the top don'ts for an affiliate marketing website to get more traffic? We have a blogging website about golf. We are doing things fine. Maybe there's something we are missing. We got your MLB plan. Things started to roll a little. Yeah, so it does look like you've linked your site here. So I can add you to the site audit list, but there's a wait list right now, so we're not gonna be able to get to it today. But we can answer the first part of your question. Just let me put this in here real quick. So yeah, the first part of your question, asking the top don'ts for affiliate marketing websites. So I guess my number one don't would be don't just copy AI content. It can work. I know if there's someone watching right now, it's like, AI content works, bro. Yeah, it does work until it doesn't, just like a lot of things in SEO, right? So if you want to build something that's sustainable and you're not doing like a churn and burn project, even though I kind of like these churn and burn projects, I do respect them and think it's real interesting. Can't recommend just copying AI content over. So, actually, if you use AI, edit it significantly, add in, remove all the fluff, remove all it repeating itself, and then add to it, right? Make it, add actual like new stuff, new facts, new information, new expertise, new expert commentary, new firsthand experience. Like basically you need to add to it because if not, it's going to be seen as generic. And this is actually really interesting. I saw a really cool video on this recently. I can't remember who it was, or I would say who it was, but I won't get too far into it, but it was basically saying the way that they think Google detects duplicate content is they basically check the entities that are in the content, and then they check the attributes of the entity. So the entity is like Chris, and then the attributes would be like handsome, 37 years old, SEO professional, right? And so if the two articles have the same entities and all the same attributes and no new entities and no new attributes, it's like Google's like, this is duplicate content, which is actually really interesting. Versus like, what people are basically trying to do is just like spin it, right? And if you spin it, it's going to have all the same entities and all the same attributes. You see what I'm saying, Nick?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd never heard it explained like this before. Maybe this is old news to people, but I think it's super interesting, and I think it's probably the correct way to look at things. It's kind of theoretical, but anyway. So yeah, actually like beefing your content up. I guess I'll just focus more on Eat because a lot of affiliate sites have a problem with Eat. Actually get like your social profiles going, actually have like author pages, have an about us page, meet the team page, privacy policy, contacts, email addresses, address, phone number, whatever, all this stuff. Work on all that stuff. Then as far as off-page Eat, you could work on mentions of your brand on other places that are not your website. You could do this with like press releases on Web 2.0s like Medium or whatever. Just guest posts where basically your website, you're being talked about elsewhere, maybe even on forums. So basically just have your brand being talked about on other places other than your site, because they do check this kind of stuff as well. I've been rambling for a while. Nick, what do you got?
Um, Well, just to keep it
Top
simple, like
don'ts.
don't be lazy.
True.
So like a lot of quote affiliate marketers, when they get started, they're like, ah, dude, I'm just gonna, and like this can play with what you said about AI content, but just slap together a website, real half-assed, on-page factors don't seem to matter, like you haven't studied, you haven't done everything right there, and then you come in and you just start spamming your site with exact match anchors and crappy links. People are all like, and this, like when I first got started, I wanted the loophole, that quick success without having to work real hard for it. And especially nowadays, you cannot get away with it. As for the most part, maybe if you're in like some obscure niche or in certain geographic regions, but overall, don't be lazy with your project, especially if it's your first project. Take care of it. Like try and do everything to the T. That way, you know exactly what you're expecting later on when you do start to automate these processes, etc. Right? So that would be my advice: is like learn at least at the very beginning how to make a project or how to build a project properly. And then you can start experimenting outside of that, but you're going to have more success starting there. That's my
And how you can do that is what we were talking about on one of the previous sites we audited today, which
Yeah.
was, go look at your top ranking competitors. Go look at what their websites look like. Go look what their articles look like. Go look at
Yeah.
each little element that they have in their articles. Look what they have in their sidebar. Look what they have like in their comparison tables. Look what they have, like how their intros start. Look what they're linking out to. Like you just like literally like look at your competitor stuff and dissect it. Look at the top ranking guys. That's what Google likes. That's what you need to try to make your site like. And I feel like what you can
And
basically,
if
sorry, well, what you can basically sum this up to
no, go ahead.
is, as a beginner, you should have SEO in mind. You should be doing all the SEO stuff, but don't focus only on SEO. Like focus on creating like a good website that someone would use. Like if you landed on your website, be like, would I trust this? Would I buy anything from it? Would I click a link on it? Would I just go to the next website because it looks like absolute trash and it's just not how websites look? And this is what a lot of affiliate websites look like. Almost I'd say like 50% of the sites we audit are just this very low effort. They're only thinking about SEO. They're only thinking about ranking, and they don't think about how users are going to interact with the website when they land on it and stuff, which is, of course, not good for signals. It's not good for Eat. You're going to get slapped with helpful content kind of stuff or core updates. So yeah, don't just focus on SEO. Try to focus on something like good and trustworthy and something people actually like to use. What were you going to say?
Yeah. And if you're exploring the SERPs and you find the one competitor that is spammed out, that is like doing everything, against the grain,
Don't copy
and
him.
you're ignoring the other nine, yeah, just, this guy is probably onto something that they've worked out over a long period of time, or they're just lucky and eventually they'll fall out of the SERPs and lose that position. So, don't try and emulate the one person who's getting away with doing things while, the other 90% are doing all the things. it's going to bite you in the ass at some point in time.
Also say another top don't is don't focus on the super competitive stuff in the beginning, but I'll add a little asterisk to that. And my asterisk is you can still have some of your like most important, probably already know what your like biggest money making affiliate articles are probably going to be. You can still have those, but then like just don't focus on only like the high competition stuff. Like get some of the like good ones that you can interlink people to and kind of try to funnel them to once they land on your website. But target a bunch of like lower competition stuff in the beginning so you can start getting some traffic, you can start getting some money and kind of work your way up to the harder stuff, right? And another don't would be to ignore like keyword research. Like definitely do your keyword research. Have articles that are based on that keyword research. Like look at what kind of articles are ranking, make sure you're matching search intent and go from there. Like if you kind of skip this stuff, you're gonna just be creating articles that don't fit with what Google wants to show for that keyword, and it'll just create a lot of problems. But yeah, okay, I think we kind of rambled enough on that, unless you got anything else you want to add, Nick?
No.
Cool. So the top don'ts end up being like the top do's, right? All right. Back over to YouTube. Let's see what you guys are asking over here. You're welcome, altcoin angel. Altcoin angel sounds like you're kind of.
I like that. Oh, I was literally like, I just like on the inside, I was smiling. I was like, I like that person, like them.
All right. What's the deal with Google's simple search? Are they giving up on SGE already? It seems that Bing Chat was a dud, so not sure why Google is pushing with SGE. Let's take a look. I don't even know what Google simple search is. Google simple search. Yep, I'm not even seeing anything like good ranking. If you have any more information on this, because I am not sure what you mean by simple search. Not seeing anything.
Simple search box.
What's the Google simple search?
Yeah, I'm not seeing what it would be either. Looks like a bunch of rando articles.
But yeah, I'm not sure if they're giving up with SGE. The thing is SGE, I don't think is ready for prime time. SGE is not ready for prime time. And if you look at everything that's been in the news lately about AI, like for example, Sports Illustrated, like got caught like using like fake AI authors, and it was all like AI content, which is really weird because Sports Illustrated has access to, great authors. I'm sure there's so many people, like an infinite amount of people who would want to write for them. Or they could have even just used their real authors and had them like proofread AI content. I don't know. It blows my mind that they did this, to be completely honest. But people's reaction to that was insane. It was like, I'm never reading this again. Like no one, when people are ever polled, will you trust AI content or would you read AI content instead of human content? It's like it's an overwhelming, like no, like absolutely not. So I think SGE might be able to work for like some stuff. I think what it might end up doing is like kind of like take over featured snippet kind of territory for a lot of things, where it just gives like for a lot of like real simple searches, kind of like these informational searches, right? Like what is this? Or like simple stuff like how to I don't know, do like something very simple, like maybe you can just answer and maybe people will use that or whatever. But for anything that's like a little bit more complex, I don't think people want that at all. And it's just not ready. And yeah, I don't think people trust the robots right now. So I wouldn't say that they're not giving up on SGE, but I think they're kind of rethinking how they're going to use it, what the end product is going to look like, etc. This is why when people ask us about like what are we doing to plan for AI and yada yada yada, I mean, our answer is we create brands and we look at other traffic channels other than just Google. But in general, we don't like answering the question because you just don't know how these things are going to play out, right? Like I remember when SGE was first announced, there was like literally like people like melting down on Twitter, like people like literally
Losing
like
it, yeah.
leaving SEO, like getting out of their agencies. It was like some like big names and stuff. I'm like, oh my God, like this is like the
Yeah.
biggest knee jerk I've ever seen. And it started to make me worried because like in the beginning I was like, oh, that's cool. I wasn't worried about it. And then so many people were worried. I was like, oh my God, should I be worried? And then, but anyway, yeah, so, moral of the story, you never know how things are going to play out. Again, don't know what they're doing at SGE. We'll see what it looks like. Cross that bridge when we get to it. In the meantime, you can just look at other traffic channels other than just Google, which you should have been doing way before AI rolled out anyway. And, that's social media, video, stuff like YouTube or whatever. Building an email list, paid ads, there's just so many more ways you can get traffic, and you should actually be looking at all that stuff as well, rather than relying on just Google. It's good for your EAT, so it'll actually help your rankings. And yeah, it's just good as far as like protecting yourself and having a much more well-rounded asset that you could sell for a lot more money than just being completely reliant on one traffic channel that's prone to Google updates. And I think it's kind of, a lot of people are scared to buy sites right now because Google is just so volatile that the market is just like, who would want to buy an asset like that, right? It's almost like buying an altcoin, as you would say, Nick. It could do really well.
They're all ripping
You
right
could make
now,
a lot
but
of
yeah,
money,
a lot
or
of
you
them
could,
down to
yeah, it
zero.
could just be really bad. Yeah, anything to add on that?
Just basically that, if you're in this group, or if you are navigating, kind of like these gray hat SEO channels, just remember that you're like far advanced as far as understanding the internet in comparison to the average person. So like when Chris was talking about Sports Illustrated, you have to think about, a lot of these things from the average person. And then like, are we ready for that as like a group or as a whole, right? Like, so there's a lot of prodding going on. Most people in SEO that started playing with AI, haven't been doing it for over a year at this point. Like, there's a select few that have been in there longer than that. So just always think that like a lot of these things that we're worried about are far in advance from, the times where it's something that we actually have to worry about. And I think you've got to like be very careful because there's always some narrative that says, hey, you are close to hitting the end of this rope. But that's just kind of the name of the game. Since I've been in SEO, there was always something that was going to make SEO, something that you'd want to get away from. But decade later and we're still here. So just keep that in mind. You're ahead of the game,
Yeah.
and a lot of these things that are getting played with right now and spoke about are ahead of the game as well. Google's not just going to roll out something that could potentially create a decline in shareholder value. They prod at things, they put the propaganda out there, etc.
Yeah. And if you are newer, you're probably just kind of focused on SEO right now, which is fine. That's how we started as well. Just purely focused on SEO, no other channels, just SEO, right? Just PBNs and just slamming stuff with PBNs, and we're gonna rank it, right? But
Mm-hmm.
the longer you stay in SEO, the longer you're not really in SEO anymore. You're the very generic term of like a digital marketer, right? You learn all these different channels, what their strengths are, their weaknesses, and you end up just being a lot more versatile and a lot safer, right? If SEO died today, it would not be good for our link building agency. I could tell you that. It would not be good for our link building agency if SEO died because the SGE just killed everything overnight. But at the end of the day, I really wouldn't be, I mean, I would not feel good about it, but I wouldn't be like super duper worried either.
Yeah.
There'd be, paths to go down. It'd just be a matter of choosing what we're going to do next. All right. How do you maintain your ranking with volatile nature of Google updates? Yeah, so the best way to do this is to kind of try to understand what Google wants, right? So let's start with link building. There's basically two components to SEO. There's content and then there's backlinks, right? There's technical SEO as well, but a little bit different. The two main things are content and backlinks. So as far as backlinks go, the things that me and Nick are always preaching here at sirlinksalot.co are things like link diversity, target URL diversity, anchor text diversity. And there's a reason that we preach all of this stuff, and it's that these things are natural. When links get built in the real world, they happen in a much more random way than an SEO would build them, which is just like using exact match anchors and yada, yada, yada. And so how this relates to your question is, we're actually doing things that I think are a couple steps ahead of where the algorithm is at in detecting. So we're actually doing things that maybe we don't even need to do absolutely right now, but we're doing them anyway because we don't want to have problems with our backlinks in the future. So yeah, maybe we're a little more hardcore than we should be, but the way we see it, we're future-proofing our websites. So it doesn't matter what happens with algorithm updates. We've built a backlink profile that is as natural as possible. Then, whenever we're going to go sell a website or whatever, it doesn't matter what happened in the algorithm updates because we've already done this job of just creating this super kind of random, diversified backlink profile, right? And it's not going to get hit by anything, theoretically. Maybe we've done something completely wrong and we've overlooked something, but we're doing our best to do that. And then as far as content goes, what you need to do is look at Google's guidelines. You can look at their stuff for like EAT, you can look at their content quality guidelines and actually sit down and read this stuff. It's super duper important. And a lot of people, I've seen some like black hat SEOs like knock this stuff and be like, oh, use like restating what they say. I think, for a lot of black hat projects, they don't care about this stuff and they just work on purely manipulating stuff, and that's fine. But we're in a little bit of a different kind of world, which is building sustainable projects that we can sell, like actual brands. And if you want to future-proof your site for algorithm updates, what you would do is understand the direction that Google wants to go. What you should know is that for stuff like Google content, helpful content guidelines, a lot of this stuff is not actually baked into the algorithm yet. But what they're doing is they have Google search quality raters, which are humans, and the humans are training the machine learning algorithm. Basically humans are training the robots. They're actually reviewing websites and telling the robots of what they do and don't like about it, what things it passes and fails of their own quality guidelines. So eventually this stuff is going to be baked into the algorithm. A lot of it's not right now. So anyway, you can read these guidelines and you understand where Google is trying to go in the future. Where Google's trying to go in the future with content is it's actually very simple. It's content that people like. And I know it sounds insane to say that because it's so simple and it's just so ridiculous to say it out loud, right? But I've said this like a million times, and basically I think if Google could make Google like YouTube, they would. They own YouTube as well, but the thing is on YouTube, it's their own platform, so they can measure all the user engagement signals and they just rate everything by engagement. Nothing else matters. It's just how people react to your videos, how much of it they watched, if they pushed the like button, if they subscribed, if they bounced off it very quickly. They just measure all of this stuff and they don't care about anything else. If Google could do the same thing with content, they would. They just don't have access to the data. But they do some kind of stuff. And so anyway, create good content, create content that people like. Do your basic kind of on-page like fundamentals or whatever. But if you focus on quality content and you focus on building like a natural, diverse link building profile, you're gonna do like pretty dang good. You could get hit by algorithm updates because there are updates that hit people even though they have really good sites, but a lot of them, they end up bouncing back. And even if it doesn't bounce back right away, you can still play the long game and just keep doing what you know is good, keep trying to create quality content and kind of go from there. Focus on other traffic channels as well. Anything to add, Nick?
No, I missed a good amount, but I imagine you covered that topic pretty well.
I did rant for a while.
Yeah, I'm sure you're good.
Hopefully that's a good answer. All right. And how you doing, Kushagra, man? Hasnain says, thank you, helpful points. You're welcome, sir. If you guys got any other questions at all, go ahead and drop them in the chat. Otherwise, it looks like we're going to have time to get for one more audit real quick, and then we'll probably take off. Here, I'm just going to link this to you, Nick, because his question is like super long. I don't want to copy and paste it all. Bear with us 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. Just gonna throw his website in Ahrefs and get a picture for you guys.
I remember this site.
Yes, we have audited it before. I hate when this happens with the graphs. Like when there's the big spikes and it makes it like so you can't really see like what's going on very well.
Yeah.
All right, let's see his question. I'm just gonna write site audit. I'll write something more in a second. So he says he's in our managed link building program. That's our done for you link service where you just pay us a monthly budget and we just pick all the links and pick the targets and anchor text and everything for you. So he says we're an MLB and we love the work. Our website is blah, blah, blah. It's an EMD, so that's an exact match domain. And our main focus is, and you can see this, Nick, just the last 2 words of his domain name. We're going to start releasing new inner pages as we have launched a couple of new products that are not for the same thing. They are products that our customer were asking for, so we want to start selling them as well, such as blah, blah, blah. We will want to rank these pages for the appropriate terms, but I was thinking us having our brand name. Oh, so he's basically saying because he's the EMD and they're only focused on that one thing, is it going to be a problem? Or later we can just keep adding new inner pages and expand our product range. For example, it's going to tell our rep to start adding links to those inner pages. We want to know if you think it's possible to rank these services even though they're not related to the main keyword. Yeah, so this is like the big, this is the big problem with EMDs, right? This is the big problem with exact match domains is because a lot of the time you end up going too specific and then you want to branch out and go more general, but you've kind of focused yourself on this one thing and it's in your domain name. So it's like, you know, Chris's tacos, but now Chris is doing like a full range Mexican food. You know, we got enchiladas, we got, you know, whatever. Fajitas now, but you know it's not Chris's Tacos anymore, and so everyone's thinking, hey, Chris's Tacos, they sell only tacos, right? But no, we actually sell all other stuff. The problem is that Google, you know, you've built all this relevance for just being about the one thing, and now you're saying, hey, we're actually about this other stuff, and Google can get kind of confused a lot of the time, and it can maybe not work out too well. But yeah, what do you think, Nick? What do you think about this?
I feel like he'll be okay, but you can always prod by like going down, you know, said rabbit hole, building out those pages and kind of seeing how they do. Because I mean, essentially, like, you know, we're talking construction here. He did get very specific with the AMD, but you know, there's some branded keywords in there. So like it's not an EMD, it's a PMD, right? But it does have his exact, like, the main thing he's going after. But with that beginning, the nation part of it, I feel like, you know, that kind of helps. You could even leave off, like, if you're doing some partial match anchors, you could just do that first part and then whatever other product, and see how it goes. You know, worst comes to worst, you get yourself into a bind. Like, this thing doesn't have that much traction. You know, if I'm looking in Ahrefs, so
He's
you could
adding
always
keywords
301.
nicely, but it's definitely up to a slow start. But they're a local thing. They're a local site, and I think their keywords are pretty low search volume. So
Yeah, well, I mean, Yeah, organic keywords are continually ripping up. It's just the
Yeah.
traffic values that I'm like, they've been prodded for some higher traffic, so that makes me think, all right, well, there's some juice there, um, but it's not staying up
So it's gone from like
for those
30
terms.
traffic to like 250 traffic. Again, not super great. And then he keeps bouncing up
Mm-hmm.
for like a keyword every now and then. Well, it looks like they're bouncing like pretty high up on page one, and then Google's like moving them back off. But in general, it looks like they are showing growth. And yeah, I mean, if a couple of those keywords were to stick, that would be nice because then it's like the traffic just goes to like 1,800 or
Yeah.
2K overnight, you know? It reminds me of that, I think the very first case study I put out for So Links a lot, where it was an EMD. And so we were just like pumping the homepage, right, with brand and URL anchors for the EMD, and it ranked very quickly for or ranked in a couple months for the main keyword, like really high on page one, and the graph was just like a straight up line, right? It was just like straight up, and then it was like a square, which is a funny shape for a keyword
Yeah.
graph. But you can go check that out, guys. If you're listening, you can just look in our case studies, and then you'll see that as soon as you see the graph, you'll know which one I'm talking about. Um, but yeah, so if one of
So,
those sticks, that'd be cool. I'll just say, for these two other things, I'm looking at your website. I would say just start putting out the content for it all. Maybe don't link to it directly. So you could tell the